I mean, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time. It's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. And whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
For a movie that's all about the nostalgic memories of childhood for millions of people, it turns out that's not exactly what people want to hear about Snow White. A lot of people have been saying a lot of things, and it all apparently began with Rachel Zegler. So what's all the controversy about? And is Rachel Zegler getting fired? Rachel Zegler, who is ironically playing Snow White, the titular princess, can't seem to tone down on expressing how much she actually hated the original Snow White.
I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again. Like, I'm being so serious. I watched it once and then I went on the ride in Disney World, which was called Snow White's Scary Adventures. Doesn't sound like something a little kid would like. Was terrified of it. Never revisited Snow White again. So I watched it for the first time in probably 16, 17 years when I was doing this film.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Snow White, Disney's signature production and the landmark entry that launched Disney Studio into the world of animated movies. So many aspects of Snow White influenced Disney movies that followed. Living up to its legacy will be challenging. Yet, it's exactly what the Disney team has been attempting to do with the upcoming live-action Snow White remake. And boy, has Disney stirred up the controversy with this one. Because Rachel Zegler screwed up bad.
I never want it to come off as me being ungrateful for the opportunities I have. I can also be having the greatest time and simultaneously wishing people would stop sending me death threats.
But that's not where Rachel Zegler stopped. Every promotion event Disney has held for Snow White, Rachel has somehow managed to sabotage it. The original Snow White, according to the 22-year-old, is extremely dated, and the 2024 Snow White remake will be a movie not about love and all that it was about, but now promoting feminism. Zegler has been slammed from both sides for both perpetuating woke culture and for being a fake feminist. But while people are mostly slamming Rachel Zegler, an inexperienced 22-year-old who recently got fame, Gal Gadot seems to be rooting for everything Rachel has been saying all this time.
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that
She's
is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not gonna be saved by the prince.
Disney has a slate of so-called live-action remakes coming to the cinemas over the next few years, but none have been so hotly debated as the Snow White redo. Legendary Disney lyricist and author Sir Tim Rice has entered into the debate, asking if the studio should even continue remaking these movies.
I think you have to take in the views of today, but you shouldn't be completely hidebound by them.
Snow White and the Seven Dwarves was originally released in 1937, depicting a princess who flees her stepmother, the evil queen, as she tries to murder her for being the fairest in the land. In the animated classic, Snow White's core personality traits are being kind, gentle, and good at housekeeping.
There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
That's bait.
Sir Tim, who wrote songs for Aladdin and The Lion King, continued,
I don't think the 1937 Snow White, for example, is now a bad film because it reflects and reflected its time. And it was sincerely made, and it was extraordinarily popular. In actual fact, the character Snow White in that early film isn't just a cipher. She actually makes a few decisions, and she's a very good and nice person. But you can't do that again now, and why would you want to? Because it's been done very well back in the almost what seems like the Stone Age of cinema. It's been done jolly well. And my only question is really, why in a way call it Snow White? Why not make a brand new film with an exciting story? If it's a good story, well told, it should reflect and automatically will reflect the views of today.
Rachel said in a recently resurfaced clip,
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
this sparked people to defend the fact that not every woman needs to be a girl boss and that dreaming about love is totally acceptable. Zegler has also been criticized by haters for playing Snow White as a Latina. The comments aimed at her typically regard her as not having skin white as snow. Zegler has responded to those criticisms by encouraging her fans not to tag her on social media when defending her casting against the backlash. Instead, she shared images of herself in princess costumes as a child, including Snow White. Disney is making an effort to embrace diversity in both ethnicities and genders in its recent remakes, which has also prompted even more criticism from some. The Lost Boys in Peter Pan and Wendy movie released on Disney Plus features girls, children of color, and a boy with Down syndrome among their ranks. The Little Mermaid, of course, was played by actress Halle Bailey, who dealt with criticism as well, and now the live-action Snow White. David Hand, whose father of the same name was one of the directors of the 1937 Disney film Snow White, is weighing in on the controversy as well. Hand, now 91 years old, said both his father and Walt Disney would be turning in their graves if they were alive to see the new adaptation. Hand said in an interview with The Telegraph, "There's no respect for what Disney did and what my dad did." In addition to controversy surrounding Zegler, the film made headlines when Peter Dinklage, who has a form of dwarfism, raised concerns about how the film would handle the dwarves central to the original fairy tale.
Literally no offense to anything, but I was a little taken back by they're very proud to cast a Latino actress as Snow White.
Yeah.
But you're still telling the story of Snow White,
yeah.
and Seven Dwarves.
Sure.
So that makes no sense to me. You're progressive in one way, but you're still making that backward story of seven dwarves living in a cave. What are you doing, man?
In response, a representative for Disney said in a statement that the company was taking a different approach with these 7 characters to avoid reinforcing stereotypes and had been consulting with members of the dwarfism community. The controversy was reignited when photos purporting to show the new dwarves appeared online. Some social media users were quick to point out that several of the actors didn't seem to have dwarfism. Although Disney has come out to say the photos are fake and not from our production, the company later clarified that the snaps were real but not official. Now, if there hasn't been enough screw-ups with the movie, Zegler has found other ways on how to get people to hate her. She slammed her own movie, Shazam! Fury of the Gods, by claiming she only took the role because she needed a job.
I needed a job. I'm being so serious.
Perhaps Rachel isn't the best person to promote the film, despite playing the main character because she's actively chosen to spoil the narrative. What do you guys think? Is the fight about Snow White worthwhile? Whether Disney will keep or remove her from the movie is still up for debate, but so far, I think a lot of people will agree Snow White might just be the most controversial Disney remake ever. If you liked our video, don't forget to subscribe and follow our channel for more videos like this one.